welcome back to Damaged in Shipping Cuckoo Clock video. This clock has seen better days. In fact, this is probably the worst case scenario clock I've ever worked on. And I began to collect the pieces, organizing them, and I began to clean them, beginning with Murphy's wood oil soap. And then I noticed that the front of the case had some staining on it. And so I decided to use some baking soda and water to try to remedy some of that. Next, there was a piece that was severely damaged, the bottom part of the case. I just needed to make a whole new bottom for this cuckoo clock. So I got to work. I found a scrap piece of wood and began using my table saw, drill. Made a pretty close to original type piece. And then I began to glue it all together. And to help with the glue, I borrowed, it's called a micro pin nailer. And I borrowed this from my dad. He uses it on his clocks. It's the Metabo brand. And oh my goodness, it works wonderfully. I feel a lot better about this clock as it's hanging on a wall, and I feel better about it not falling apart. So I've got the case together and just kind of going over it with Howard's Restore finish. I believe I'm using the mahogany on this, and I really like what this does to clock cases. It kind of just breathes some new life back into it. Probably the cleaning part of it is probably my favorite part, because I like to see how things were and what I can bring them to, and to see that immediate change in the color just puts a smile on my face. So here I'm attaching the facade, again using that micro pin nailer. It is a wonderful tool that I might need to add to my tool collection, because you know, it puts such a tiny nail that you can hardly see to help hold things together. And when you're dealing with a case that got destroyed like this, it's so helpful. So this clock is pretty much original. I did have a little bit of trouble getting the dial in. Maybe I should have put that on first before I put the facade on, the horn there in the center, because I did have some trouble with that, getting it to fit. But I eventually got it in. I'm going to apply some wood glue here to get the rest of that horn on, and it's coming along nicely. Try to get it just right. And then here's the pendulum, and it got damaged too, so I had to glue that together and use a little micro pin nailer so it does not come apart. Again, this is an awesome tool, and it works wonderfully. So here I am getting those original nails back into the dial, trying not to damage anything, getting the cuckoo door on. Sometimes that can be a little tricky. And found another piece of the oak leaves and trim for the facade, getting those on there. But look at that deer head. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. I did have to kind of Dremel out the old holes. I ordered some antlers. I found these, I believe, on maybe eBay. I could be wrong, but they're wooden. They look traditional, and I stained them, I think, with a dark walnut stain, and they look nicely. But look at that. It is such a beautiful old case. Next, I had to work on the mechanical, and so the movement has been cleaned. Just giving it a little bit of oil. Want this to be running well for a long time. Friction is the enemy of clocks, and trying to get every little place I can. I haven't really done a video on oiling. I don't know if I'm the best one to talk about all the important bits of it. There's other videos out there you can watch. But here we go with the chains. I did have to find the right size chains and order new ones because there was not much left of the original chains. And so getting them on wasn't too bad. If you haven't done this before, tipping your movement upside down and start sliding those chain links in, and then as you wind the ratchet wheel, you can turn it right side up and it should pull back down. But it definitely needed new chains because the old ones, there wasn't much left and they were shot. Next, I'm attaching this little movement stand to the movement, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the wall and run it. And what's nice is this kind of spaces it out away from the wall so that I can test it. I can test it, make sure everything's working as it should. And there it is on the wall. I can adjust the length of the pendulum bob. I can make sure our Cuckoo automation, that is working okay. And make sure it's in beat. All those important things for the clock. Next, I've got some new bellow tops. I am going to be putting these on the bellows. I didn't really want to make my own. You can buy the paper and do that, and I've done that in the past. Sometimes it worked good for me. Sometimes it did not. So didn't really want to take a chance, or take the time, I should say. And so I used some craft glue there to put those on. And using the craft glue is nice, especially for, when it comes time for the next owner to put new bellow tops on. Hopefully it'll be a long time, but just in case, the craft glue, it's a little easier to get off than, say, maybe super glue. So just a little tip there. But you got to make sure you got these positioned right, because if you don't and you get them in to the clock, you might have to break them apart. Here is the Cuckoo bird. It's a little sad looking, and it actually did come apart on me, and I had to put it back together, and that was a pain. There's always something. And then later in one of the videos, you'll see that the Cuckoo bird, one of the wings wasn't working. But later I added in a little bit where you can see that both wings are working. That was a pain as well. I haven't really done that before, but I just kind of figure things out as I go. Getting the movement in there and get ready to secure it. But a beautiful old count wheel movement. Estimate this clock to be from around the turn of the century, probably around 1900 or so. And just trying to get things back to the way they were so this clock can, if somebody takes good care of this clock, it could go another 100 years if it's well taken care of. But they just don't make things like they used to. That's what I think. So putting in our bellows, I've got the right one connected to the lever arm. And then I will get the next one in, trying to get the pendulum leader out of the way. And a lot of wires, but you know what? This is so much easier to work on than a small cuckoo. If you have ever worked on a tiny cuckoo clock, you know what I'm talking about, because there is no room. There is no room. It is very complicated to try to get everything to fit just right and to get those wires looped around there. Some of you watching may have some tips and tricks. Please share those in the comments if you do have some tricks, because I would like to learn as well, because I recently worked on one. But getting these secure into the case. Notice I did not glue them in. I hate it when I find them that they're glued in. They just take screws. It's fine. Checking the lever action, making sure things are good. We got our wire under the tail of a bird. I think we are getting close to testing this in the case. Looks like I got to make a little adjustment there. There is always something. In fact, I think I had the movement out of this clock probably maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times, just little things that just needed adjusted. Oh, I'm having to drill a hole to put the little loop in a different place for the bellow top. I evidently had it in the wrong place. So, you know, sometimes, you plan, but you got to change your plans a little bit as you go. That's just part of life. So getting this left one finally in, and a little test. All right. We are getting somewhere. Look at that clock. It is so beautiful. Going to test it now. Awesome. I found these on eBay. These are traditional looking hooks for weights. I thought they would look good on this type of antique cuckoo rather than the newer brass ones. And then I also bought or made some little wire loops to go at the other end of the chain. I can't remember which one I did. But here we go. So you can see one wing working there, but I did fix this. You'll see a little video off to the left. It's going to show both wings working. So it's finally done, and I am so glad because it was a lot of work. And I was thinking about this, if I had to do it all over again, would I do it? And I have to pause, reflect a little bit because of the hours I have in it, but I think I would. I think I would take the time to take it apart and put it back together and restore it, and rather try to preserve it so that it can be enjoyed for several more years. Would I do this with a newer one though? Probably not. Probably not. But I hope you enjoyed seeing this video and that it helps you with maybe deciding on a cuckoo to save or even one to rescue or buy. It's a lot of fun, but it can be a little frustrating at times too. So it's good to have a little bit of patience and some time where you're not interrupted. If you can find those 2 things, I think you're going to be in good shape for bringing one of these back to life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.